I have the mic on. And the bear is gone. And I'm live. How's it going today, man?
Oh shit, today was a fucking day, man.
Alright, let's make sure we're not fucking up anything. The sound is good. Nobody's here yet, but the sound is good. And there's a lag. That's fine. And
are we recording and streaming?
We are recording now.
Cool.
So,
what is up, sir?
Oh man, not much, man. Pretty good week.
You had a good week.
I had a good week. Had a good day today.
Well, every day off is a good day, right?
Oh yeah.
I pulled in the driveway and I was like, "Where the fuck is this cab? Like, this looks weird."
Well,
like,
because see, the way my leases run is, I leased my cab 7 days, and we had a verbal agreement that I was going to work every other weekend. But the thing is where I leased my cab for 7 days, I still contracted myself to work a weekend that I took off. So that put me in the hole. I owed money for those leases. So now I'm back to doing single day leases. So when I do a single day lease, they still send me the keys. I brought the key home with me. Because if they would have called me this morning and been like, "Hey, you want a core run, Bluefield to Pittsburgh?" I could have said yes. I can go take it. But
so you still have the opportunity to make the money you were making, but you're just not holding the cab. If you choose to take the day off, they can lease it to somebody else, and it's good for you and the company.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
It's for the first time in my life somebody's looked at me and said, "You're a hard worker. What can I do for us to be quid pro quo here?"
Right.
Nobody else does that.
Nah.
So I'm appreciative. They're appreciative of me, and I'm like, "Well, I'm appreciative of you." So, but yeah, dude, I've just been taking a lot of notes today. I went into some rabbit holes.
It looks like it.
I mean, I know you're going to bring up TikTok, so I put that up there. Really, there's only like 3 subjects.
Well, I mean, you brought it up. We might as well start with that one, right?
Where do you want to start? I haven't even got psyops.
Start with TikTok.
TikTok, okay. How you feel about it?
I think it's crock shit.
Okay. I'm willing to play, give it out, because I'm willing to play devil's advocate. Now, here's the thing. I think we need further investigation before the answer is given.
I think the answer's already given.
Okay, so, is the TikTok in the United States being used, because I've put some hard thought into this, is TikTok in the United States being used by, or being ran by a CCP company? Now, before we answer this, we're real pissed off Biden took money from China, right?
Absolutely.
So is TikTok owned by a CCP entity?
Most likely.
Okay. Now, who cares about you, right? Who cares about you? But you know what? Let's conspiracy theory the possibilities here. And not just for TikTok. Meta's already admitted, and they started hiring at one point people for their eye reading program. So, and dude, you can pull up your phone now and look up online healthcare eye doctors. And half of them have this app where they can read and dilate your pupils from your phone for the eye doctor. So, the pupil dilation reading possible and already in use in a social media entity. What's this mean? Okay, doesn't mean nothing unless, say, China has, I don't have any specifics because I don't know the depth of how they work. You know what? Let's say China has a mineral in your town. They found cobalt in your town in Colorado. And they want to be able to mine that cobalt. Use that. So they start going down some board members' TikTok's accounts, right? And they find Mr. Swanson. Mr. Swanson's on the board for the county when it comes to mining and stuff like that. And according to his TikTok accounts, every time a video plays that's got a particular thing in it, be it a young lady or a male, they realize he's got an interest. Well, now we got an interest. He's a married man. He's got secrets. They dig into those secrets. They find an in, a way to lobby this man into their interests. Or let's do something crazy. Say China wants a crime to happen of some kind in an area to bring awareness to something or another. So they do the same thing. They find a man who's got a secret, and they basically blackmail him into committing whatever act they need. Like, I can see the dangers in TikTok being able to read your emotions to particular events if it's connected to the CCP.
Yeah.
Any social media company, though. I don't like the CIA knowing this shit neither, much less the CCP.
I can see that too. I really do see that side of it, but that's way too complex. A lot of things, when you look at the big picture, Justin, and you know this in your regular everyday fucking life.
Right.
When you look at the big picture, something in your life that is just really big and really complicated. When you really take the time and you look at it, the big picture is not that complicated. It's very fucking simple. We know for a fact that the only way, legal way, I'm using the air quotes.
I love the air quotes. That's the only reason we have a video.
The only legal way that politicians make money is through the salary that our taxes pay for them and through lobbying.
Exactly.
Okay? The only way you can lobby an American politician is if you're an American company. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're all American companies, and list goes on. You can go down to Truth Social, Rumble. I mean, you can go through the whole list. Social media, all the way down to Pinterest and fucking the neighborhood app or whatever it's called. You know what I mean?
Right.
All of those companies have lobbyists that work on their behalf, and the way they do that is they line the pockets of our politicians. TikTok is unable to lobby our politicians because they're a Chinese company being ran by a Chinese American. Let me clarify this for you. The CEO of this company is a Chinese American citizen who speaks perfectly fluent English and has been in this country for 15 years. I'm not saying he's not connected. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he's an American citizen. So basically what this boils down to, if you have 300 million people in this country, and half of those people, that's not an underestimation, that's not an over-exaggeration.
No, a lot of people use TikTok.
150 million people use TikTok on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
When half of your politicians, or half of your population, use a certain app, that takes away ad revenue, and that takes away other things from these other social media companies that are simply lining the pockets of our politicians.
Right.
It's very simple. TikTok is way better than all of these other apps combined.
Well,
and they are considered a threat to the politicians' pockets.
I don't think it's that.
Period. The end.
I digress what I said a minute ago.
Let me finish real quick.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you, because TikTok does not collect any more or any less data than Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, fucking all of them. Every fucking one of them are collecting your data and they're selling it to the highest bidder. It doesn't. I don't care who collects the fucking data. What I do know is somebody's selling it and making money off of it.
Right.
So now that TikTok has basically taken over the social media platforms in that atmosphere, now it's a Chinese threat. Not the Chinese spy balloon that flew across our country for 8 days. Not the fact that our president's being paid by this country.
I still think they were clowns.
Not the fact that China slaughters daily hundreds, if not thousands, of Uyghur Muslims. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is TikTok.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck if you're Republican or Democrat. When you have this many problems in this country, and this is what you choose to tackle, you all can kiss my fucking ass. Every fucking one of you. Because that shit makes zero. Okay, if TikTok is really a threat, cool. We got bigger fish to fry right now.
Yep.
We got bigger problems on our plate right now.
Yep.
And you just wasted 9 hours of a day questioning the CEO of TikTok just so you could get your sound bites out to your constituents. Because what they did to that man is the same thing that they do to everybody that goes in front of Congress. Justin, what's your name? Oh, you're not going to answer? Oh, fuck it. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Hey, what's the next question? Next question. Oh, you're not going to answer? Okay, I reclaim my time. They ask you a question, then they fucking interrupt you, and then they say they're reclaiming their time. Then they ask you another question. They never give you the opportunity to answer any of these
when
fucking
you start
questions.
to give the answer that they didn't want to hear,
they reclaim their time. Every fucking, and it's Republicans and Democrats.
It is. I see. I'll not, like
That's
what I said a minute ago is separate from the point where I'll stop now and tell you that I also firmly believe the only reason they're tackling the TikTok issue is because of people like the black and white face dude that's right here that says
anonymous.
They can't. They're not censoring properly. According to our Congress, they're on both sides.
But there's plenty of opportunity to prove that that's wrong.
Right, but what I mean
one
is
of the guys that I follow on there, his name is Kramer Says. I shared the video with you the other day.
Yeah.
He's had 81 TikTok accounts. They're banning him left and right. You know how many Twitter accounts he has? 1. You know how many Facebook accounts he has? 1.
You know why? Because
Instagram? 1.
We're the people they hate, John. We're the people again, I know we changed the name, but we're the people in the middle. Like, I thought I was extreme for a long time, and now I'm just like, no.
No, TikTok has definitely allowed a lot of, yes, they censor. Of course they do. But it's sad to me that a Chinese company, if it is indeed run by China, a Chinese company allows more freedom of speech and freedom of ideas than all of these other American social media companies combined.
I think enough has came out to warrant questioning. Like, you know what, guys? Find out you know what? You should investigate to see how deep we're tied to the CCP. If they're not, fuck off. But you know what? Maybe there's enough there to take a look.
There's not going to be enough there to warrant the suspension of the use of this app.
Right.
I mean, this is like big time for a lot of American citizens. This is not small fish, you know. And I never thought that social media app would be a thing that really garners that much interest.
Right.
But dude, social media is a big thing in our population. Like, you try to take that shit away from some people, you're taking away their revenue stream, you're taking away.
That's true.
A lot of shit. I mean,
there's definitely
there's a lot of TikTok millionaires that didn't exist before this app.
Unless you can show me a militarily Homeland Security reason why you need to shut this shit down now. Yeah, I agree 100%.
If that's the case, then all of them should be shut down.
That's true. That's 100% true.
Why one and not the other? That's my only thing.
You know, I tripped down. Want to go on to the next subject. I like the TikTok argument. You know, I'm a freedom of speech guy, so I don't want to get too far.
You're a freedom of speech guy that's temporarily doing a 30-day ban on Facebook. Let me talk to you about some freedom of speech, buddy.
Buddy, let me tell you.
Fuck a Facebook. Them motherfuckers will ban you for nothing. But yeah, dude,
I'm sorry.
that's one of those situations where the government's gonna do whatever the fuck they want, and they don't really care about us people.
So I went down a rabbit hole this morning at breakfast while she's cooking breakfast. News 25 Boston. It was on my YouTube for some reason. People are dropping like flies, according to a headline, because of this stuff they call trank, and they call it the zombie drug.
Is this one they're mixing fucking horse tranquilizers
It's
with the fucking heroin
dilazine.
and shit?
Yeah, it's called a hypnotic. But dude, you know what I found interesting? Not to get in trouble. So I looked into who makes xylazine. Now, my thing was, is it made in a foreign country? You know, is this like fentanyl? You know, it's made typically overseas, and there's issues with how much of it's getting shipped here and how it's getting to our streets. You know, so where is it made? Well, it's made in America.
Mm.
Who makes it? Well, a company called...
Pfizer.
No, a company... Well, it was originally made by Bayer in 1962. It was called Anacid. It's a horse tranquilizer. And then it was called Rampuni, and then it was called Cetirizine. And now, recently in 2020, weird year for it to happen. Early 2020, it was, if I understand right, entertainment purposes only, was subcontracted by a company called Next Gen Pharma, who I figured that was a veterinarian company, right?
No, why would it be?
Well, there's a company called Next Gen Vet, right? But they don't sell this stuff under any name. They're in Texas. They don't sell this stuff under any name. So I keep scrolling down Google, and I find Next Gen Pharma. Now, these people make medicine. They subcontracted the making of xylazine over to a company called LGM Pharmaceutical. And then later that year, all in 2020, bought that company out. And now it's all over our streets in the dope and Narcan resistant. It's a veterinarian product. Why was it being made in the same labs as hydrocodone and whatnot?
Because that's how they do.
It's questions.
But that's really what they do. Like, there's really no difference other than the dosage size between a pain medication for you and a pain medication for your dog, or your horse, or your cow, or your cat. It's all about the dosage.
I just found it to be interesting.
You know what I mean? It is very interesting.
That's an interesting rabbit hole, because I followed the money in a straight circle. No, not me.
But it being made in the same lab, that's not as concerning for me as how it got out of that lab
In such high quantities.
Yeah. So it's no different than the heroin epidemic or the pill epidemic here in West Virginia.
Right.
You know, when you send 90 million pills to a town that has 4,000 people in it, that should be a red flag. When you go from 2018 to 2018 making, I don't know, 100 pounds of xylazine per year, because really, how many horses need to be tranquilized every fucking year? Good God. to triple, quadruple that in just a couple of years, that's a red flag to me. You know what I mean? Something like that. If something's on our streets, I want to know first and foremost, the first question I have is, how many horses are being tranquilized every year?
Right.
Like, does this happen on a daily basis? Do you really need this much product?
Right.
Is there a need for this much
Why do
product?
some pharmaceutical companies sell their stuff in the same mind game as a cocaine dealer? The more the merrier. Like, seems like you'd ask at some point. You know,
Bro,
I make
let me
I make pills for kids with ADD. How come? How come I sold 10,000 last year and 20 billion this year?
right,
Like,
dude. When you think about the basic principles, a CEO of a drug company is no different than the drug dealer on the corner. He buys a product at low price, he sells it at a higher price, he takes the profit. That's business 101.
right.
It doesn't matter if you're a street dealer or you're the CEO of Pfizer. It doesn't matter.
Don't tell me, because I mean, look, man, this is again like I'm all about capitalism. It's not that I'm not all about capitalism. I also believe that at some point human contracts have to come back into play in society.
This form of capitalism
That's-
is not what was supposed to originally be.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I mean?
don't
We're
tell me
supposed to
you
regulate
dumped.
these companies.
Yeah, don't tell me you dumped a bunch of poison onto our streets just because you made it, and that's capitalism.
But if you get into that subject though, Justin, you're opening a whole new door.
Well, we got to kick these doors in at some point because
Right,
bro,
but now,
we have to, you know, if there's nothing I didn't take from that, Mr. Malice, you got in my head. I'm not an anarchist, but I do 100% agree with his theory. And I don't know where we started at. Do we start it with our kids in school? Do we start it? But we at some point have to instill a basic human contract of dignity and respect amongst people in order for society to grow in any level. I don't care if it's capitalism, socialism, or any
And
of that.
that means that some people in this population, some people are not going to get their way. They're not going to be happy with the decisions that come out of this.
No, they're not.
Because if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, I'm just going to use one or two things that we use on a daily basis.
Right.
If you really want to get down to the nitty gritty where capitalism doesn't supersede human rights or human decency or whatever the word is,
I feel that fit.
then you have to eliminate a lot of shit that we use on a regular basis. And about 4 of those chemicals are in that drink every day.
And I agree.
That shit's got to go.
That shit should go.
That's poison.
It shouldn't be available for me to die.
This
by.
has a lot of natural shit in it. It
That's
doesn't really have a lot of
oxymoron.
chemicals in it.
It's safe.
You know, it's water, barley, you know, shit like that. But that has ingredients I can't even say.
You're fucking right. I shouldn't be drinking that. It's
It
probably
doesn't
got
matter.
atrazine
You're an
in
American
it.
citizen. You have the right to choose whatever you want.
Right.
But part of that contract means we have to get rid of the poisons in our food.
Matter of fact, that plastic bottle right there would probably be out of the fucking. You're right. I don't. You're right. You know what? I mean,
So
some
are
people.
we as American citizens, are we ready for that type of compromise?
I am. You know what?
Well, I didn't ask you if you were. I
I'm-
said, are we
I
as a society?
I think.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What if we made planting a simple small garden, and this is World War II stuff. I'm just you know, planting a small garden, getting a rain barrel, getting 5 chickens, and conserving your waste scraps for compost was treated as detrimental amongst the neighbors as wearing a fucking mask and staying 6 feet apart.
Or
What if treating that person down the road, okay, like I'm not going to go any deep holes, but this is for a friend of mine. What if being a basic, when it comes to business, a basic good landlord who, if there's a major problem with a place you're renting, out of the cost of the way people would treat you in the business world would be forced to repair things that were broke in a timely manner. And it was treated as detrimental as anything else the government wants to enforce. Like, what if it's possible? I mean, people will comply. We've learned that people will comply, so why can't we make a list of good things that people can comply with?
Right. Right. Like, let's say, here's a good, I've always thought of this.
I'm probably off track on that.
You did a little bit, but it's okay. A good example of this. I'm a homeowner, and I live in the city, and I have a half an acre of property with a small house. Nothing crazy. But on my property, where the public can access it without reaching onto my property, if I planted 4 or 5 fruit trees and allowed the public to take this fruit whenever they wanted to, and the city government give me a tax break on my homeowner's insurance or on my property taxes every year, dude, you could change the fucking world.
Right.
Because then you're guaranteed that no homeless people are ever going to go hungry.
Right.
Guaranteed that shit.
Right.
Any Tom, Dick, and Harry, if you planted an apple tree in your yard, I could come and collect 20 apples and take them home and make apple butter.
Right.
You're helping everybody. There are no incentives like that.
You know what?
The only thing we do is you either comply or you go to jail / pay a fine.
Right.
You know, whatever the case is. And I'm talking the same thing. You could even expand that and say, you know what, your green grass is pretty and all, but who fucking cares? I'll give you a tax break if you plant some fucking vegetables.
Vegetables, yeah. Herbs.
And you could turn around, even if you have no interest in that, you call the fucking local shelter, the homeless shelter, and you say, I've planted a garden that I have no intention of collecting the spoils of. Come down here and clean this up. Come down here and maintain this garden for the whole summer, and the homeless shelter can have all of the labor, all the fruits of that labor.
Right. Have you seen on the west side one of those vacant lots? They put up a community garden.
Yeah, they're popping up all over the place.
Yeah, and that should be like I like that.
Know, that's not government incentivized to help the people. A government is supposed to be there to help its people, you know. So those pieces of land, most of the time, are bought by someone else,
right.
A private citizen,
right?
And they're like, here, you can plant.
But why can't we?
You know,
why can't we as a people? And I'm by that. I mean, everybody, red, yellow, black, and white, realize that government's not here to improve life for us. So anything we can do to be less dependent on them gives us a little bit more control and responsibility on our environment.
Exactly. 100%.
And when you have more control on your responsibility on your own environment for so long, when they come in and try to take a piece of it again, you recognize it's a much bigger problem. They don't seem to get the drift that a little bit more food and a little bit more freedom is a big thing nowadays. Wow, I totally lost my train of thought there. So,
but yeah, dude, that's part of the problem with this scenario that we're outlining here is that you and I are less dependent on the government than some people are. Some of my family and friends, you know, still to this day. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't be dependent on your government.
You shouldn't be dependent on anybody.
You know,
like that's
But especially your government.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, if you look back in history, let's be honest. Let's look back in history on world leaders. Not American presidents.
As a whole.
Yeah, not American
don't have
presidents.
A good track record.
World leaders. It seems like genocidal maniacs are the only people that want the job. Like,
right.
So, man, psyops or bricks? You pick. Because, I mean, dude, I see psyops everywhere. It's like I live and they fucking live. Excuse my French. We were on a good roll there without me cussing. It's like it's like I live and they live anymore. I see the psyops.
Run with it.
Someone asked
Talk to me.
Somebody popped up on our comments. Do you think Donald Trump is a psyop?
I saw that.
You know what? I don't. I'll stick to my answer. Like, I believe Q is a psyop, and Donald Trump's never called it out.
The older I get, when I see strange things that at first glance can't really be explained, my first go-to, it's never conspiracy theories or coincidences. It's always the government on it. Like, it's always. Like, you know, whether it's you know, them threatening to indict Donald Trump on the same day that we find out for sure 100% positively that Joe Biden took money. Members of Joe Biden's family took money from the CCP.
And
no, we don't know that for sure. So let's keep that.
So big guy didn't know he's big guy.
We still don't know who the big guy is, and there's still 2 people on the Biden family picture list that aren't revealed yet. So I mean, we got fucking Hunter, Bo's wife, Haley, I think her name is, James Biden, and then there's maybe Jill. It's not Jill.
You think it's Jill, or do you think it's the babe, his brother's widow?
That's Haley. Haley Biden.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Bo Biden's widow, who after Bo Biden passed away, she slept with Hunter. Never mind. That doesn't matter.
You know what?
That doesn't matter.
They're rich people. They're rich. Like, I expect this kind of behavior. You sick man. We worked for them.
Nothing to see here.
We worked for them rich people once. Remember that? They were the weirdest people.
Some weird motherfuckers. They were some weird motherfuckers.
There's one thing I've learned, and one of the reasons I quit cooking is I learned, and I'm glad I'm poor, because I'm pretty sure money would make me a shitty person.
I'm 100% positive. Like, it's the same reason why, like, if you believe in karma and shit, there's a reason why my life path didn't align with law enforcement. Because I'm 100% guaranteed to tell you, you know, I can make this go away. I'm just saying.
I've seen American Gangster, and I wouldn't have turned that money in.
I'm just saying.
I'd have been like, so I'm going on vacation fishing next week, and you.
So I busted you with $1,000 and $15. I mean, you can either be cool with it, or I can just turn all of it in, and you can go to prison.
I mean,
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not your fucking good guy. I mean, I'm a good guy, but I'm not that good guy.
Right.
If you tempt me, I'm taking it all the time.
I'm a terrible person, but I try real hard.
I'm like one of your few people that will actually admit, you know, I think the Jedis were the terrorists. I kind of root for the dark side.
I think they were both assholes.
Right, me too, but I kind of root for the dark side. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah.
I mean, did the dark side show up and kill the younglings?
I mean, right. I mean, who's rebel against who here? Who's the real fucking insurgent?
Like, you know.
Come on. Like, I mean, but yeah, dude, like, I'm 100%. You call it a psyop, and, like, I don't ever hear that word anywhere else. But
Santa
you know,
Claus.
I'm right there with you. I believe that the government has its hand in everything, and therefore they are controlling everything that we see, do,
You know,
and that we have this guise of freedom.
before you
But
ever
it's
think
not.
psyops don't exist in everyday life, let's talk about Santa Claus. In April, March, dude, how old were you when you quit believing in Santa Claus?
Bro,
Oh,
in my generation, honestly, dude, I was like 13 or 14.
your
I
parents
was,
told you about Santa
I
Claus.
was full blown teenager before
Your
I was
grandparents
like,
told you about Santa Claus.
it was real.
Sister
in my life.
told you
Like,
about Santa Claus. The store told you about Santa Claus. We were watching him on NORAD on the news. The news told us about Santa Claus.
See, I didn't have that until I had.
The encyclopedia told us about Santa Claus. Everybody told us. Everybody. Corporations, media, the government. Everybody told us about Santa Claus. And then one day you realize they all collectively lied to you for whatever several reasons. So I mean,
easy. And make it easier to read light next time if you just easy.
I
with
mean
it.
shit to mine. I'm sorry, but
But yeah, right. But
yeah,
and then you realize that, dude,
everybody can work together.
you know the story. You can absolutely, but then you grow up a little bit, and you start really looking into stories,
Right.
and then you come to the conclusion when you're like 40. After you watch an episode of Joe Rogan where he explains that the story behind Santa Claus is way more dark and cool than you ever thought it was. It's not just some cool dude giving away a gift. No. No. These motherfuckers are tripping balls. The Eskimos. It's their true story, Justin.
Okay.
I'm missing pieces, so you have to really dig into it to find the actual story. This is a true fucking story. The Eskimos up in like Alaska and shit. Okay, so certain areas of their forest is pine trees. Under the pine trees, there was a thing called an Amosquita mushroom that grew specifically under these pine trees. This mushroom is red and white. So under a green tree, the red and white mushroom sticks out. It pops. It looks like a present under a tree. Like all of this shit is connected to a fucking Eskimo geeking balls, bro. This is the reason. This is where all the North Pole stories come from. And then you go further back, and like it tells you that actually Santa Claus is like a fucking not a murderer.
The Krampus.
Yeah, it's something.
It's a
Something
depiction
Krampus.
of the Krampus, which is
Not a good guy.
no, he takes bad children away in like this cage.
Like
He
how
doesn't
the
have
fuck-
a sack. He's got like a cage hanging over his
Right,
shoulder.
like dude, like it, and
He's
then
got
you,
backwards knees and shit.
bro, like what the fuck, man? And Joe Rogan started me on this path. I was like, that's cool as shit, you know, because and if you can look it up, you can Google it right now, and it'll show you the Amosquita mushroom under a pine tree, and it looks very Christmassy. Like that's the only way to fucking describe it.
And hang on, let me just
That's
ask. Amosquita mushroom. A mosquito mushroom, man. That's funny.
You see it?
No.
Or no? Okay. But yeah, dude.
Amanita.
There you go.
The Amanita mushroom.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Amanita mushroom.
I told you I was mispronouncing shit, man.
I Amanita mushroom.
Look at it. Look at that little picture right there.
Amanita mushroom.
There we go. Look at the picture.
Oh my God! You know what? That probably caused the Smurfs too.
Right.
Yeah. Wish I could put
And
that on the TV.
you fucking trip balls when you eat that shit.
That's crazy.
And the fucking,
I bet you do.
dude,
It looks like it
guess
would
what
make you
else?
trip balls.
Guess what else is in fucking Alaska?
What?
Fucking reindeer. And the reindeer love these motherfuckers. So the magic reindeer.
They
the
fly.
flying
How do the Eskimos know they're flying?
You got your fucking daughter in there. You know what I'm saying? You're sitting here like calling your bullshit on fucking.
You know what? You know what's really funny about this?
We need to end this conversation.
Mushrooms today.
Yeah, true. I usually try to keep them.
I'm in a really good mood.
Yeah, dude. I got a buddy of mine that goes to Detroit all the time, and every time he's in Detroit, he goes to the dispensary.
Oh God!
And dude, he brought me home 100 milligram black cherry cannabis soda. As soon as I got off work.
How was that? Oh,
it was
God.
fucking delicious. I chugged the shit out of it. Like, I'm feeling great right now. I am like, whoo. I'm not like high or nothing. I'm just
ready to go to the next plane.
Dude, them edibles are on a different level.
See?
But yeah, I had some penis envy mushrooms. That's I gave you on the camping trip last year. And then I just had like an ounce of them.
See, it takes me months to eat a pack. I keep them in a dry pack so they stay fresh.
Yeah, me too. But
I mean, it takes me months. I'll eat like that much of a stem on my day
it's
off.
a microdose. Bro. Yeah, it's just a way to soothe your soul, man. Like, dude, I really want to do one of them like medically supervised ayahuasca retreats.
Me too.
Is it the ayahuasca retreat?
Me too.
And it's medically supervised and shit, but man, it's like a 7 days. And every day for the first 4 days, they increase your dose. So every day is a better and better trip.
Right.
And then the last 3 days, they dose you down. And then the 8th day is a recovery day. And it's all a medical retreat. And they're like, dude, you're seeing aliens. Like, you're zooted fucking out there. And they have these night fucking trips where you're under millions of stars in New Mexico or something. I think it's New Mexico or some shit like that.
Oh, so it's in the United States?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers goes to one every year, the ayahuasca retreats. They're going to be in like medical states.
How much is it?
California, New Mexico. Oh, you have to Google it, man.
Oh, man.
I really don't know.
That'd be a fun trip.
But yeah,
that'd be a cool documentary.
Bro, I'm telling you, there's athletes that do this shit.
Fear and Loathing on Grapevine.
There's athletes. Dude, one of my on my favorite football team, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
One of our defensive guys just retired, and now he wrote a book, and in the book he said every day or every game, before every game, he would take 3 grams of mushrooms and Adderall. He said it made me a fucking warrior out there.
Dude.
I was like, goddamn son,
dude,
you're fucking geeking out there playing fucking football, making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
You're fucking tripping balls, dude.
You were hitting people so hard because you thought they were really monsters.
Yeah, you're fucking tripping. Like, smashing people in the mouth. Like,
I hit you and birds are flying around you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a great experience. A great experience.
I ate 3 grams of mushrooms and played an NFL game.
3 grams of mushrooms and a shot of Adderall.
Shot?
Not a pill.
A shot of Adderall.
His fucking doctor, or his personal trainer.
Ooh, that's a monster. That is. That's a monster.
He's speeding and tripping. Like, how do you maintain that shit?
That's what they should give our troops.
Like,
that's what they should give our troops.
Okay, Adolf. Slow it down there.
He gave them meth.
I mean,
like, no, it's
same
not.
Difference. I really feel like we have some pretty aggressive warriors already without
Well,
that type of manipulation.
actually, man, you know, Putin has made a complaint that he's finding like methamphetamine on Ukrainian POWs, and he's like, we didn't have this problem before. So it's not meth. It's a pharmaceutical style. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an L.
Yeah, it's probably fucking Ritalin.
Probably.
Kid
Supercharged Ritalin.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. When I was working at the country club on Christmas holidays, working 16, 18-hour days, dude, I was fucking addied out, bro. I was eating fucking Adderalls faster than fucking Chef was drinking Kickstarts. I was like, how else do you work back to back to back 18-hour day? I can't fucking do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no way.
Right.
You don't get enough rest. There's no way.
No.
You're just running on fumes.
That's why I quit cooking it, man. Like,
bro, I loved it.
I did too.
I loved it.
I
We
loved
created
it.
some good friendships, man. It was like
I
would
loved
go
coming
to
home with
fucking
my
war
ass whipped.
some of them guys, man.
Yeah, yeah, and I loved the stress. I loved the beat down, the
What
the
I
rush.
didn't love is the inability to decompress.
Yeah.
No time off.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like that part.
Yeah,
I could deal with the stress, but I need time away from y'all motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it was like work hard 5-6 days a week, and then on Monday everybody's like, let's go swimming at the club. I'm like, I
No.
don't really want to be around you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I just not that. I don't want to be around this club.
absolutely. But I did go play golf a lot
Yeah.
because I enjoyed golf. You know what I mean? But that was different for me.
I would literally, when I was cooking on my day off, just stand. Like, it was bad. Like, I had to get out of the kitchen. My day off, I had gotten to the point, dude, I was a robot. Like, all I did was cook. I would come home and I would stand next to my counter.
Dude, the new chef at Berry Hills now, he's
Like,
different. He was different. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could probably be super cool working for that guy. You know what I mean? Even still today, at my age now.
right.
Like, that dude, I can't explain it other than to tell you that he's a disciple of Chef Harris from Edgewood.
Oh, okay.
And if you've ever worked with Chef Harris, I don't know if you have or not. Chef Harris, he'd be in the middle of 100-plate setup,
Right.
and the way he'd be at the end of the table, and he's literally like, okay guys, I need you to, he's cool, calm, and he fucking with no music, he's quiet, he whispers, and his fucking sous chef better hear him. He does not raise his voice under any circumstances. And this dude's never been to school.
Right.
100% completely self-taught. And he's a fucking genius. But it's hard to work for him. Because I can't hear. I'm fucking old, bro.
I go to the firing range.
And he stands there and he's like, I'm like, bro, you're a grown fucking man. Like,
Talk to me.
I like the guy.
Can you hear me in the background? Speak the fuck up.
But that's the way this new chef is. He doesn't get upset. He doesn't get agitated. He'll teach you the same shit 100 fucking times. He don't care. Cool dude, man.
Cool.
But at the same time, with that being said, I'm 100% better off alone in my kitchen.
Yes.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Yes, I could cook again. I could cook again in your position.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
I can do that.
By myself, I got the same 40 people until someone fucking dies, and then someone takes their spot really quickly.
Unless it's
So,
my
I mean,
shop,
That's how, I mean, dude,
I gotta cook alone.
That's how it is for me. Friday,
And if it-
Saturday, and Sunday, I'm all by myself.
If
12-hour
it's,
days.
you know,
I do 3 meals and 2 desserts.
I don't care if I ever run a soup kitchen. I won't hire nobody unless they come work a day for me under the understanding they may or not continue working for me. I want that day.
Yeah, you give me one day.
Give me that
Yeah,
trail.
I can usually bring out a decent employee or a complete shit show in less than a day.
Right. Right. Nobody in Charleston ever did trails. And I never understood that. That was the norm with every culinary job I've ever gotten outside of Charleston. You gonna come in here, I'll tell you what, tomorrow night, 4 o'clock, come in here ready to cook. I'm gonna give you 3 hours. You know? Here's a menu. Take this home. I'm gonna put you on my salad line tomorrow night on my salad line. Tomorrow night I'm gonna give you 3 hours on my salad line. If you can come in and you learned last night, you know what? I expect you to screw up a few times. But if you at least walked in and first order was a Cobb salad and you were like, if you walked in and you said, what's charred corn?
Get. Yes, sir.
If you come into work and you grab your towel and you throw it on your side with your apron and you go stand in front of the line with your hands on the table and you don't look underneath it and you don't look in the pans and see what's empty and that.
Bro, I don't know how people do that shit. Dude, I will throw shit away on my first day. I'm like, that shit is fucking nasty.
Hey! Those were poached beets. Those I just made those.
No, the fuck you didn't. I know what a poached beet looks like, motherfucker. And that shit's stuck to the pan. The pan hasn't been changed in 6 days.
Yeah,
A poached beet, the pan's red. Like, how the fuck? How long has it been poached? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Shit.
I went to work for Joni's boss, and I walked in there and started changing the pans. She was like, "What are you doing?" She said, "No, literally." She said, "I just changed the pans last night."
You lie.
I'm so used.
I can tell. I already know.
Yeah.
Lying.
Well, you know what? I think she did. I'm just so used to the mom and pop shop.
Okay,
so
see, you can tell. You can tell.
It
if
looked
you just
all
changed
right.
the pan last night, that shit should look crispy.
It looked.
Everything's nice and below the chill line. Everything should be good if you just did it last night. You ain't made nothing else to eat since then? This line should be pristine, bro.
No,
But anyway, how'd we get on that subject?
I don't know.
Unless we're talking about opening that sandwich shop.
God, if I could.
We
One
don't
day.
need to be talking about that right now.
One day. You know what? If I could just get a truck.
You know, Cisco minimum order is $1,500.
I mean,
Dude, that's a lot of fucking sandwiches. To place a minimum order at Cisco for $1,500, that's a lot of fucking sandwiches. We could get 9 kinds of bread and 7 kinds of meat and 5 kinds of cheeses with $1,500. Jesus Christ, we could start off.
what's a minimum order with Buzz?
Good question. Probably
I think it's
$1.
like. I think their minimum
If
order.
you drive out there is no minimum. Buy what the fuck you want.
Okay, so
What is it? 20
the
miles?
fuck we need
90
from
to 20
Cisco?
miles? No, but I'm saying
The
Buzz
song.
is great for your meat, for your Philly steak meat or your burger meat. Like great, it's a great local source, but you can't beat the selection
You can't.
from Cisco.
You
Dude,
can't.
they've got every cheese known to fucking man.
Absolutely.
They've got every meat. They've got higher quality meat. They got lower quality shit. They got, as far as selection.
Buzz has a pretty good meat selection. I feel like for a
Great meat
sandwich
selection.
shop, Buzz
Where-
has all my needs.
They do,
Because they're connected to Boar's Head if I want to get smart ass and run delis.
bro. No,
No.
Buzz has stepped it up since you've been out.
See? Fucking. See? That's all I need.
Buzz has its own processor. Like Buzz brings in live cattle.
Oh, I know.
It's the Charleston Abattoir. It's a butchery. Fresh meat. It's the freshest fucking meat you could. This dude just died. Like, how much fresher can you get?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the last I heard. I don't know if they're still bringing in live
Buzz
cattle,
has everything I need.
or maybe they're bringing in like halves
Right.
that are already dead. They just need to be processed. I'm not sure, but they built a whole brand new building out there. Dude, Buzz is where it's at.
Dude,
But
I'm the reason Buzz picked up particular items over the years.
right, I mean, Chef Paul has really made a name for himself. Man.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
up for a James Beard Award. Like, I mean, he's really
Paul's
made.
badass, man.
He's fucking a great dude. He's an asshole, but he's a great dude. You know, I mean, I guess it's how chefs are
Most successful
sometimes. I don't
people
know.
are.
I don't know what it is about it, but I mean, he always had that thing about him where if you did what he said, he was coolest thing ever. If you ventured outside of his lines, he did not like that. That's why him and Chef Axe never got along. Bro, I'm telling you, like, Chef Axe is ready to fight on sight.
I know, he did not like that man at all,
Hell
did he?
no. That first year, they took a festival, the newspaper came and took pictures of him. And Chef Paul did the interview. And it was Chef Paul and Heath Axe. Not Chef, not executive chef, it's fucking Heath. Ever since that fucking day, he's like, fuck you, Paul.
Do you know how many menus in Charleston I wrote?
Bro,
Cook the food, and then the owner would be like,
fucking long did I work to get this fucking title, and you can't even use it? Like, you fucking... Oh, Chef was... Oh, Heath was so... Oh, bro, he was ready to fight that dude.
what was it he told Oshep one day? He said, Justin, he said, here's the thing about Justin. He said it right in front of me. He said, Justin's a badass in the right circumstances. He said, he goes, in certain environments, he's a good cook, but he's not, he said, what was it he said? He's not exactly fitting of the environment. He said, but you give him his own space to cook, and he's good. He learns good what he does. He's right. You put me in a small kitchen, open kitchen, I'm like, motherfucker, give me my fucking chicken, motherfucker. Like, I cuss up a storm, and I know I do.
That's why I like my job right now. It pays the bills, and I'm by my fucking self.
Yeah, yeah.
I got my music on, and I just fucking...
When I can come in, and it's my responsibility, and it's my game plan, and I can look at what I got to do, and mentally look at it, and go to work in my... Yeah.
Dude, I come in at 6:30 in the morning. The first thing I do is clock in, make coffee, go to the walk-in, see what's in the walk-in, go to the computer to make menus. It's the first thing I do every morning. Every morning I work. I'm like, cause this is like a couple days old, so we're gonna have to find a way to incorporate this into something.
Goulash.
Dude, Sunday, my vegetable beef stew, let's get it. That shit is delicious. And it ain't nothing but week-old vegetables in the walk-in. I'm like, let's go. Today we had some beets and some Brussels sprouts and green beans and corn. And like, I put a whole bunch of leftover roast beef in it. Nice. And some beef base, salt, pepper, paprika. Oh my God, that shit was fucking delicious.
Regular saucier. Regular saucier.
That shit was delicious. That shit was about to expire. I was about to throw that shit away. I'm gonna dump it in a soup.
So man,
we got off topic.
Oh no, dude, I was.
So yeah, to conclude this segment, everything's a fucking psyop. I think that's how we got.
That's where we are. I mean, yeah, dude, everything's a psyop. Did you watch that video at all I sent you today?
No, I started to, but then I got busy
so
like,
on the psyop topic, and then we're gonna hop on
the presidential.
That's a movie called
To Kill a President.
Death of a President.
Right.
And it's a documentary about the assassination of George W. Bush. It's a full documentary. You will watch it happen. If you have kids, if you went home and put that on your TV with Abigail in the living room and she watched it and you didn't correct her, she would spend the rest of her life thinking
that George W. Bush is assassinated.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really that easy.
Bro.
But I was looking into bricks today. This is, you know, I was listening to what's going on in the world of banks and everything, and I quit looking at BRICS at the countries and started looking at the countries who they were economically and militarily tied to. Mexico's ties to Russia are concerning. If you didn't know about those, um, like, did you know that Mexico Russia gives Mexico military equipment?
It doesn't surprise me, but no, I did not know that.
So, like, Russia has military and economic ties with Mexico. Now, I looked and looked and looked, and, like, a Russian president hasn't met with the Mexican president directly since, like, 1984 or some, like, way back. It's been decades since, like, Russia and Mexico have sat down at the table and chatted. But
So they probably just give them money or give them stuff just to keep them on the side
yeah,
because you're America's neighbor.
yeah,
It's only smart to do that.
yeah. But the thing is Brazil has recently joined BRICS, and so has South Africa. Remember the economic segment where the South African country found the largest gold seam, blah blah blah. South Africa's doing well now, so South Africa has joined BRICS. Brazil and Russia, put them together, there's ties in South America. And, like, Russia already had all these ties, so it's not like Brazil is helping. It's just that now Brazil has been absorbed into BRICS. And that's Argentina, Colombia, Cuba, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Peru. I mean, that's all of South America and Mexico. Basically have military and economic ties to BRICS. Now, BRICS is definitely not a military movement. Remember that. This is all economic. There's no way these could like combine as an army. Then you got South Africa, and then Iran. Iran has recently made ties in with Syria, and we just started attacking Iran. We're already attacking in Syria. Iran and Saudi just shook hands and made good friends. China and Saudi Arabia just agreed that oil will now be traded in ones, or Chinese money, gold back again.
Between them.
Yeah,
Because they
but
still
the
have a
American
petrodollar.
the American dollar, dude, is about to.
They still have the petrodollar agreement.
They're about to kill it. They've said it straight out. Its 100-year reign is over. They've said it straight out. China, I just said everybody over that way. North
Right.
Korea, South Korea, Vietnam. They're already threatening Taiwan. Japan will probably stick with us.
Not South Korea. Make sure
No.
you didn't. You said
No,
South
no.
Korea.
Yeah.
Not South Korea.
No,
South
North
Korea
Korea.
is a staunch ally. Japan's
Yeah.
staunch ally. They're
Yeah.
never going to
Yeah.
agree to anything like that.
No, but most
So-
of that area, and then India. The thing is, economically, Israel is our military ally, but economically, in the oil market, would Israel cooperate with BRICS? Would France be forced because all their pipelines are connected into these countries? Would France be forced? And then you got Bangladesh, and I don't know why they even made the board. But what I didn't know was Mexico and Indonesia, Nigeria and Turkey are on a different economy than everybody else, and it's called the mint economy. But Indonesia and Mexico are swaying because it's a much bigger economy. It would be good for their country. And that's the rabbit hole I went down this morning. BRICS alone, just that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just those 7 countries, is a quarter of the global GDP without any of the other bullshit. And this is against who? America, Germany, Finland,
There's like 30 some countries.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's equal countries that are, and I guess I see where they're going. It makes sense.
they can crush our American dollar. They can. Oil and trade wise,
No.
China,
That's the thing where people. That's the thing
And Canada, I don't trust Canada. I circled them. I don't.
Me either. They're you know.
Trade dude, I'm pretty sure that's Fidel's son.
Canada's cool. Canada can be as weird and cool as it wants when you got super nuclear armed big brother next door. You know, I mean,
Justin Trudeau next to Fidel Castro.
But dude, like my thing is, the point that they're trying to make, I get it, because our American dollar is backed by debt. Wow. Fuck out of here.
I'm doing it to
This
you.
motherfucker.
Look at it.
No, I already did. Why? Hey, did you see the one with fucking Barack Obama being bounced on Ronald Reagan's knee?
Yeah.
Have you seen that photo?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the elite?
I told
This
you.
motherfucker knew he was gonna be president when he was 8. Like the fuck you talking about? When I first saw that, I was like, no way, that's not Barack Obama. The fuck it wasn't.
I'm telling you, man.
It's real. It's there.
I'm telling you, man.
Tell me.
I believe it.
Presidents
it's all
are
a TV show.
Presidents are picked.
It's all a TV
They're not
show.
elected. Presidents are not elected. This is just a fucking Truman Show.
All right, what I'm about to say, I'm going to say it like, look, I totally discern any kind of violence or anything like that, but they're trying to get the right to riot. And here's the problem with this. Here's what I know. You know, the left. The left's mad at things you can't touch. They're mad at racism. They're mad at fascism. They're mad at the system. They're mad at their emotion. They're angry at things you can't physically touch. They hold no moral regard to burning down a random business or a building connected to the system or burning cars or causing civil unrest. But unfortunately, I feel like the right has spent a lot of time seeping, and they're specifically angry at specific people. We're not angry at a building or a system or an ideal that they can't touch. They're not. They've selectively. They know what they're mad at.
Yeah.
And they know where
They're mad at a government and at a system that keeps constantly infringing on its boundaries.
Right, but as a system, they're not just like. I mean, I feel like it's different. The way it's viewed on the right side is different than the way it's viewed on the left.
It is, of course it is.
Yeah,
of course it is. But one thing I have noticed in my life is, and I interact with a lot of people, you do too.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though I work by myself, you know, I got 40 residents, and the youngest one I got is 65. These are people that work their fucking whole lives off. They work their whole lives away.
Right.
And they're enjoying the fruits of their labor, basically. You know, their husband or their better half has passed away, and they didn't want to live by themselves. Our community is an expensive place to live. You know it. You've been in the nursing home. It's expensive.
Yeah.
To be there. So, you know, I forgot what I was saying.
I think you went a little smaller scale than where I was at.
Yeah, but I was
no. People on the lower scale where we're at, like, we're all loving people. I never meet anybody who like really hates.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That's where I was going with it.
No, everybody I meet
do
on the
talk
lower
to
scale.
a lot of people every day, and you know, never in my day-to-day conversations are race and politics and religion and things like that ever brought up.
You'd be surprised how many people would get in the cab and start talking about the world's going to shit, and they just want to see where you're.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And you know what? Even people who are on the other side of on totally on the other side of the field, can agree with a lot of the basic simple things that we both agree on.
Yeah.
Like you know, people shouldn't be able to, you
Yeah,
know, and
like the purple haired chick at work, she even agrees that, you should at least be an adult before you're allowed to alter your body.
right,
Like,
right. Who are the people that believe
why-
this on the level that it needs to be on our news?
right? How is this even a thing?
You know, the best
You
argument
gotta
I
be
have-
fucking 21 to buy alcohol, but you can chop your fucking nuts off and call it a day. Like,
you-
what the fuck, bro?
the best
Like,
argument
why is
I've
this a
had
thing?
is, and I've had this argument with a
Why
blatant
is this a
homosexual person. Now, what is the LGBTQ movement about? What does it mean to be homosexual? What does it mean? Give me the most complex, serious, excuseful answer you can give me of what it means to be homosexual. It means
You're
that
attracted
you are
to the same
attracted
sex.
to the same sex. You want to sleep with people.
Period. The end. Whether
Of
you
the same-
sleep with them or not,
but-
you're attracted to a member of the same sex.
Okay, so we
Period.
can all agree attraction is usually sexual attraction. Once you're an adult, attraction is usually sexual
It's
attraction.
part of it.
So it's all about sex.
Not all about.
Most of it is about, like, what age do you need to go talk to kids about?
Not all. That's what I'm saying. It's not all about sex. Just no different than heterosexuality is not all about sex.
I'm a bit of a dog, man.
I'm just saying. At the core basics of it, it's not about sex.
No.
You've had sex with many women, and none of them has risen to the wifey status because they didn't meet certain qualifications.
Oh, no,
but you
she's
still had sex
She's
with them.
definitely getting wiped up. I just haven't got there yet. I'm working on
That's not the point.
it.
The point is, like, you're here, like, she's here, like, that's your wife.
Oh,
Whether
yeah.
you legally done it or not.
Right.
Me and my wife ain't married, but that's still my wife.
Right.
We've been together long enough. I will kill you for her. Like,
Right.
100%.
Absolutely.
Come around. Come see me. I will protect my family. 100%.
Right, 100%.
Like, I love her. Like, sometimes she pisses me off, and I feel like I could. Maybe the camera saw that. Or not.
That's what love is.
But that's not.
If you haven't contemplated murder, it's not love.
I don't want to murder. Not murder. Just, maybe about 30 seconds before unconsciousness. Just a little blackout phase.
No.
Like, not much.
He'll say, no, I got no complaints. She's cool.
Yeah, me.
Okay, I'm good.
Man,
On the
I
real.
can't complain. I can if I want to. But
You know what? I'm glad I passed up all them half-ass bitches that didn't meet wifey status for where I'm at.
Thank you.
Like, absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely.
But that was the point. I mean, you go through certain phases, but there's only a few that you really want to ride or die with.
Right.
At the end of the day, there's only a few that's ever risen to that level.
I have left some females standing right there at the bottom of the driveway. I'll call my friend. He'll come pick me up. Well, see, that's the thing about it. See, you got a friend on call to come pick you up. You know what? Call him. That quick.
Yeah.
Why are you going to spend time with your kids today? I wanted to... you hold up right there.
Stop before you fuck some shit up. Oh. Intermission, break time. Give me 1 second, buddy.
Go ahead,
Be
man.
right back. Where you going to do next? You feel like you covered
You know
the whole
what?
board
I'm
just
taking
there.
a quick intermission too. Hang on. Nobody showed up yet.
Yeah, just keep it running then.
All right. Everybody hang tight. We'll be right back. So, as soon as John gets back, I'm going to take him down that road he never wants to go down. We're going to talk about Mexico.
Whew.
It's going to happen again, John.
Yeah, I don't fuck around with that shit.
It's going to happen again.
The only way I drink that shit is when I'm at home, where it's safe.
I expect you to really take a shot of it.
I'd be like talking to trees. Fucking, whew. Whew.
I just wanted
I've had
to
some good nights on that tequila though, but I ain't gonna lie, that's a whew,
So
that takes a whole new level.
we keep bringing it up, and since we just talked about all the BRICS stuff in Mexico, you know, we've been down the cartel road a couple times. You've said, you know, it doesn't affect me. I'm not worried about it.
It does affect us.
Mexican president. Because I mean, look, let's be honest. It was our people. It was the conservatives who said we should go down there to Mexico and we should, you know, man, he put out a pretty staunch speech. And he's basically not taking any of this shit from us. You know, let's see if we can. He said no. Oh God, what is that? That ain't what I
Oh
want.
God, damn! How did you
I
do
did
that?
not want to do that. I'm sorry.
At least it's Donald Trump Jr.
I can't believe he went on The View and gave them bitches the time of
Oh,
day.
yeah, he did.
Shut the fuck up. Well, they ain't even coming on your show.
The president dismissed claims that traffickers in his country are responsible for the flow of fentanyl into the U.S.
Experts here in the U.S. say those remarks are false. Congress, meanwhile, looking for solutions.
By the way, this is Fox4News.com in Fort Worth, Dallas, Texas.
Reports from Washington.
Fentanyl deaths are climbing in the U.S., a crisis that institutions like Congress and the DEA are struggling to tackle. Now, one international leader is placing blame on the U.S., suggesting fentanyl is the country's problem. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador reportedly said Mexico does not produce the drug, adding, "We do not have consumption of fentanyl." His statement directly contradicts the intelligence community's assessment that most fentanyl is smuggled across the U.S.-Mexico border.
We've transformed our approach at the agency to how we look at this issue, to focus on networks, meaning precursor chemicals, financial flows.
Alright, now I'm going to play
Lawmakers are
the
calling
actual
for tougher
speech.
action.
Let's get into the actual speech.
México es un país independiente y libre. No
This is
una colonia ni un protectorado de Estados
Geopolitical
Unidos.
Economy Report.
Some pretty amazing things are happening in Mexico. This is a country that for decades had a series of governments that were very obedient to the United States. But the leftist president of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, known as AMLO, AMLO, he has been speaking out very forcefully against the threats by the United States, the bullying by the United States, and more recently, this March, numerous U.S. politicians have been calling essentially for the U.S. military to invade Mexico. I should stress here that Mexico is one of the top 3 most important trading partners of the United States. They share a massive border, and multiple U.S. politicians from the Republican Party are now calling for the U.S. military to invade Mexico in the name of fighting drug cartels. And the current president, AMLO, is not simply taking this lying down. He is being very forceful in rejecting these U.S. threats. And he has given powerful speeches saying, Mexico is not a U.S. colony. We are not going to tolerate this aggressive behavior by these hypocrites in Washington.
Pero lo más importante es que desde aquí, desde este zócalo, corazón político y cultural de México, le recordamos a esos políticos hipócritas e irresponsables que México es un país independiente y libre, no una colonia ni un protectorado de Estados Unidos.
Cool.
That's some, you know what? That is some manly shit you
Y
just
que
said there.
podrán
Right, but I don't have nothing against that.
amenazarnos con
A lot of
cometer
people.
They should be.
cualquier atropello.
They should be.
Pero
But let's
jamás,
make it very fucking clear that if we stop trade with them, that's a threat to both countries.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So shit, don't act like you can survive without us or we can survive without y'all.
Right.
Better stop fucking playing. That dude's acting hard because
I
that's
don't
what got
know, I
him
don't-
elected. But
I think
and
at
let me
some
be
point-
very frank here. We flew into other countries in the dead of night and assassinated Osama bin Laden. And nobody's worried about Mexico. 1,000%. No, you're not a threat at all.
Okay, so let me go down a devil's advocate road.
I mean, you know,
Let me go
Russia,
down
China, there
Let
are.
me go down the devil's advocate road. Just be an Appalachian man and argue with you real quick. So, we went into Afghanistan. We spent 20 years there. Who were we fighting?
Terrorist.
Okay, I mean, we know the names of the organizations.
Taliban, Al Qaeda,
ISIS,
ISIS.
insurgents, which is basically just citizens.
ISIS was only created by the power vacuum from the assassination of Saddam Hussein.
ISIL, which I think they were just
Yeah, they
ISIS, and Barack Obama
they
was
were.
trying to like water it down.
Yeah. Dude, when Saddam Hussein got taken into custody, that created a power vacuum.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what created ISIS. We all know that now.
Were we fighting with the Afghanistan army?
No, they were our allies.
We spent 20 years fighting rednecks.
Yeah. Yeah.
What really? In desert conditions, sandy, hot desert conditions. What makes you think the cartels would be any different? I mean, they've got nice equipment. They don't have tanks, but they got.
The point is, you made your own point. You literally made your own point without knowing it.
It took 20 years.
It took 20 fucking years, and then as soon as we left, guess who's back in charge?
ISIS.
Exactly. Oh shit. I should take that, but I'm not gonna. Sorry.
You'll call her back. We're gonna cut this off in just a minute.
No, I'm drinking. I'm not talking to her right now.
But,
It's the boss. But
no, like I feel like I honestly
But-
militarily feel like going in there to fighting those cartels is going to be the same thing as we could be at that for 20 years. They could juice that the same way they juiced every other war.
no, that's the point. That's the point. Because we fought Afghanistan for 20 years, and as soon as we left, the people that we fought took over.
Yeah.
Well, you can go into Mexico and kill as many cartel members as you want, and as soon as we leave, some ordinary Joe citizen is going to be like, well,
Hey, look, a pile of cocaine.
there's still money to be made
Anybody
here,
got
guy.
a truck?
You can't. You have to start grassroots. If you really want to fix the problem, you gotta start grassroots.
Okay, so where would that be?
Internally. Start with your own population. Start in the community level. Get these motherfuckers some help. Stop arresting people and imprisoning people for minor drug crimes. Where there's money to be made, someone's going to make it.
Right.
You can't
But
keep arresting
we've
the-
seen that experiment.
the addicts.
We've seen that experiment.
If there
out
are no
west.
users, the drug dealers find other things to do.
But we've seen that experiment out west.
So you have to find some
they're
way.
Just shitting in the street. You know what? I get mad and I like blame the drug problem for the reason I can't find a bathroom anywhere but.
You have to find a way. And let me be very clear when I say up to and including, I don't know if imprisoning is the right word, but if you continue to use drugs, we're going to take you off the street. Whether that's a medical facility, a prison facility, a camp style, you're not going to roam among our citizenry if you cannot function normally.
If you insist on being a needle junkie, you can live in this camp. We will supply
with all the
you
other
with
needle
drugs.
junkies.
Yeah,
You can have all the drugs you want, but you cannot come here.
When you die, we're going to throw you in a ditch. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
I hate that sounds harsh.
It sounds harsh, but at what point do you have to make harsh decisions for
The
the
only
betterment
way
of
to cure it
society?
is to prevent.
We've seen where the acceptance road takes us. You can look all over San Diego and see it.
Yeah, it just
You
it,
know,
there
like-
is no
There's no easy answer,
no.
but there
It's
has
not.
to be an answer because this
But-
can't continue.
At the
For
end
the
of
next-
the day, it's all a mental health issue. Because drug addiction is not
You're
a
100%
cause.
right.
Drug addiction is a symptom of a problem.
I agree
And a
with
lot
that.
of that is PTSD, or it's I don't know if anxiety and depression are really
No, I
causes of using drugs, but harsh shit, like you got molested, your PTSD, like your mom and dad
Surely
murdered
that-
each other. I
Surely-
don't know. I
Surely
don't
the
fucking
cause
know.
of your depression
There's-
is the
there's a
cause of your
reason.
drug use.
There's a reason.
You know, and then when you realize you went down a road where you're
And-
not happy with the lifestyle that you're living, but for some reason you find it necessary, that's another level of
It's
depression.
similar to what your wife's son is going through right now.
Yeah,
Like, you have to reach certain objectives to get promoted to a certain level, and before you can be released back into the general population, you have to achieve a certain level.
right.
And whether that level is 1 year clean and sober, or
Good
whatever
behavior
it is,
or whatever it is.
you got a good, you're getting a good job, or learning a skill that you can use, or whatever it is. Someone else can make those rules.
Right.
But the point is, like, if you're going to continue to use drugs, hard drugs that manipulate your life,
Right.
and I hate saying that,
And I mean, you know, here's the thing: you have counselors there, and there's a way out. But
there is a way out.
But
it's
you,
hard.
We have to at
You
some
chose
point.
that lifestyle, and now you have to prove yourself worthy to live inside of
Some
it.
people don't want help, and and I'm sorry,
that's
but
the
there has
problem.
to be an acceptable option for them.
There has to be a
Like,
way
I just,
to remove them. Okay, you don't have to accept the
I
help,
feel like,
but you can't live here.
right.
This is where normal people live that have jobs and work for a living and don't do drugs. That's your choice. You can live over there with the drug addicts and all your friends probably. You can straighten up and live here.
Right.
And there should still have your basic needs, but it should be the bare minimum.
Right. Right.
You know? I mean, yeah, you got a Dollar General, bro.
Hey, that's all I got. I'm oddly content with it most of the time.
Not.
I don't
mean,
have high standards.
But I'm saying,
As long as
When-
any family dollar.
but capitalism still exists at this point. So the options in the camp area are going to be severely limited
Oh, yeah.
because there's no money. None of y'all have money. So what do you need? What do
Right.
you really need? You don't have money.
Just drugs and food.
Yeah.
No way out of the rain.
Even a chicken knows how to get out of the rain.
Right.
His brain's about yay big. So.
Right.
I'm just,
Well, I'm talking about chickens.
aren't we? Aren't we?
Because.
Yes. Great one. Great one. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because.
But anyway, man.
We didn't do it no justice at all.
Yeah.
That little kid was on that shit.
He was on that. You should have Kaylee do it. You said, why are chickens so funny? What? Because. Yes.
Well, we're going to end this podcast with a great fucking joke.
Yeah.
How you like that one?
So anyway, this guy walks into a bar and sees a sign that says, $200 is the man that can make my donkey laugh. You've heard this, right?
I think so.
Okay, no.
But, you know, I'm always down to
So
hear
anyway, he goes to the he looks at the guy and he goes, "What's with the sign?" And the guy goes, "Man, my donkey's just depressed." He said, barely neighs anymore. He's like, I'd like to see him laugh again, make him be happy. He just always looks so sad. And the guy goes, "Give me a minute." So he goes back in the back and he walks up to that donkey and he whispers something real quiet into that donkey's ear. That donkey starts and the guy goes back out and the guy pours him a beer and that donkey's still laughing hysterically and the guy drinks the beer and he leaves. A couple weeks later he comes back through the town and when he gets out of his little car on the street corner he can hear that donkey. And he walks back into that bar and he sees a sign. That guy's got cotton in his ear and it says, $400 to the man to make my donkey stop laughing. He's like, man, that thing has made the most horrid sound since the day you left. No matter what I say to him, he said, I beat him, I've kicked him. He said, I've thrown water on his face. He said, he will not stop laughing. He said, nothing is helping. And that guy goes, a minute. He goes in the back, and all of a sudden that donkey just silence, complete silence. So he goes back out and he sits down. He starts drinking the beer, and that guy's like, "Man, I appreciate that." And he pulls that cotton out, and he's like, "God." And he pays him. And he's like, "Man, just out of curiosity, what'd you say to that donkey to make him laugh?" He looked back there and he said, "I told him that my junk was bigger than his." He went back to drinking, and that guy stood there a second. He's like, "That's pretty good." And he said, "So how'd you make him stop?" He said, "Well, back there and showed him."
Yeah! Good joke. Well, hopefully we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. It's going to happen unless there's a bank collapse, EMP, alien invasion, giant nuclear tidal wave.
Or, you know, just more likely to, like, work or some shit. That's the most likely reason why we don't make it. But
I don't know. I feel like the odds. I feel like if we were going to run a tally chart, who had Last of Us style fungus for March on the tally board? Anybody? Anybody?
I heard about this fungus.
Flesh-eating zombie fungus? Anybody?
No, I don't think anybody had that.
Okay, so here we go. So in case there's a flesh-eating zombie fungus like the Last of Us that happens, we'll see you next week.
Yes. All right. Good times.
Thanks
man.
for coming in. Thanks for stopping by.
Hope you watch it.